This is Tomas, and I'm going to be today in this video I'm going to be covering the dictionary from keys method. And before I give some examples, I'll give a quick introduction to the from keys method. So the Python dictionary from keys method, its definition. So the dictionary from keys is a method that inputs keys and maybe an optional value and outputs a dictionary with the specified keys that are mapped either to optionally specified values or to the default none value. Okay, its syntax. The dictionary from keys syntax. Here I'll show you the method declaration to give you an idea what it's going to look like. Oops. Okay, there we go. And here's the declaration. So you call the dictionary, the class dictionary, and then from there you call the from keys method, and then it takes possibly one or two inputs. So the first input is the keys, the keys that you can that you pass, and then the second input that you can pass is an optional value, and you don't have to pass it because it'll default to none anyways. But if you want to set your own value, that's what it's used for. And then as for the parameter arguments, the keys. So the keys is the required input is an iterable input specifying the keys of the newly made dictionary. And then as for the optional input value, this is a specified value assigned to every key in the dictionary. The default optional value is none. Okay, so now I'm going to show you some examples of the dictionary from keys method. Okay, so in this first example, I'm going to show you an example of an unordered integers dictionary with and without an optional value, initializing a number sequence. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to declare a variable named sequence, and I'm going to initialize it to the sequence with the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just a simple sequence that I'm going to declare to use for the example. And then on the next step, I'm going to use the dictionary from keys method to convert the sequence to a dictionary, initializing with the default none value. Okay. There we go. So now, so on the second line, I declare a result dictionary variable, and I initialize it to the result of calling the from keys method and applying it to this sequence. Okay, and then I'm going to print out the newly made dictionary with the default none values, and I want to pass in print out the result dictionary. So here, let me run this so you guys can see the results. There we go. Okay, so the newly okay, so here, see, we passed in our keys. So this is our keys that we passed in, and then since we didn't pass the optional value, it defaults to none for all the keys that we passed in. So that's a real nice method. And okay, so I'm going to go to the next example where I initialize another dictionary with an optional value, and in this case I'm going to use 1. Okay, so see, when I print this cell out again, you see where the second print, where I print out the second dictionary with 1 as the specified value. So here, you can see that 1 is now the default value instead of none, which is nice. Okay, so now I want to move on to the next example. So an example of adding a specified default value. Let me open up another code cell, and here let me show you what I'm going to start off with. Okay, there we go. So in this next example, I declare a variable a, and I set it to different keys as a string. So key 1, key 2, key 3, and then b, which is I set it equal to the number 7, an integer, which is going to be the default value that I set. And then here I'll initialize. I'm gonna do initialization and print, so you can see um, how I'm gonna print them out. There we go. And I set the default dictionary variable and initialize it to the result of calling from keys to to these two variables, the tuple with the three key values, and then the variable b, I initialize it to this integer, which will be my default value. So we have our keys. So we have our keys that we're passing into the from keys method, and then we have our default value, the optional value that we set as the default, the new default. And then okay, so we're gonna the next step, we're gonna actually print out the dictionary with the 7 set as the default value, and then we're gonna pass in uh, the default dictionary uh, so we can print out its result. So let me show you the results, and see, as you can see, 7 is the associated default value. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys one more example with this from keys method to give you guys a better idea. So the next example will be an example of setting an empty dictionary as the default value to the dictionary from keys method. Okay, let me open up another cell to show you guys. There we go. So I'm gonna declare a dictionary as value variable, and I'm gonna initialize it to the result of calling the dictionary from keys method. And the first parameter is going to be a range. I'm going to call the range of 5. So it's a list of five elements, and then the default value is going to be an empty dictionary. And then we're going to print out a new dictionary with the empty dictionaries as values, and we're going to pass in as the key. We're going to pass in the dictionary as a value variable here. And let me show you the result. Okay, see how it has the range from 0 to 5, so it starts off with the index starts at 0, so we go from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they all the values, all the associated default values are an empty dictionary. Okay, thank you guys, and I hope this gave you guys a good idea of the dictionary from keys method.